na Cuirtí, or the visiting houses. The Irish have always been fond of groupings by nature, and this social life in the 19th and 20th century consisted of fairs, weddings, threshings, thatchings, and various get-togethers. Neighbours remained at the church gate after Mass, gathered at the crossroads on Sunday, and of course cheered their heroes on the hurling games. These were all centres of education in their own right, but possibly the Cuirtí Houses were the best examples of all. They were the real universities of learning. They told of times to sow and times to reap, times to sell and buy, advice on thatching, and of course, weather lore was discussed. For example, flights of birds, sounds from local rivers, and clearer views of distant hills were noted. There were at least 2 Cuirtí Houses in every village of South Galway. A large kitchen, a bright turf fire, a hob, plenty seating, along with a genial Cuirtí or Ballinakill were essential. In fact, the owners of the house felt great pride in being able to attract courtiers. The Cuirtí Houses probably had their origin in the middle of the 19th century. The nation newspapers bought collectively by the village folk. Then the schoolmaster or a member of the house would read aloud, to be followed by a discussion or criticism or an argument. Probably the best text to delineate this is the book called A Lad with the O'Freels by Seamus McManus. Storytelling was the order of the night. Stories involving ghosts, fairies, banshee, or jack-o'-the-lantern were systematically told. Runaway horses were discussed at length whenever the unhappy event occurred. The minute catechism was studied by the children present, and the courtier acted as a tutor or examiner, much to the pleasure of the father and mother. When the family in the Cuirtí house grew up, musical instruments were bought, and the fiddle, bodhrán or flute hung over the kitchen fire. These were played by the household and also by the visitors. Passing musicians were cordially welcomed and tunes swapped. Things changed slightly with the coming of the gramophone. Courtiers were not so dependent on the musician anymore. The Cuirtí Houses attracted visitors from a radius of 4 to 5 miles. A courtier absent on a particular night would be considered sick or indisposed. Foremost in the list of villages in Ballinakill N.S hosting courtiers was the village of Rennebrone. This village, nesting among Slievachtaí, was home to 4 families during the 20th century. Today it stands lonely and deserted. Crumbling ruins bear testimony to the once beautiful and happy hamlet, where the Cuirtí Houses preserved the lore and age-old traditions of a Celtic race, which eked out a living from the stubborn soil. Here, stories of a romantic Ireland were told to the wide-eyed children. These were a true Celtic people, knowledgeable in the evolution of nature and in their simple farming techniques. Small wonder then that Rennebrone had been chosen as a thesis of a deserted village by Trinity College students in 1997. Although time stands still in Rennebrone, the Irish Folklore Commission states that Wexford and Rennebrone are the first haunts of both the returning cuckoo and swallow in Ireland. Ornithologists visit the village during the late April and early May to hear the call of the cuckoo and the twitter of the swallow or swift. But sadly, with the introduction of the radio, the Cuirtí Houses waned. Grandparents tuned into Round the Fire and Question Time. Fireside Lore took a back seat. But with the coming of television, Cuirtí Houses were confined to history. Here is a beautiful poem ascribed to Mary Gardner Fox of Australia, which was sent to us. It's entitled The Village of Rennebrone. Though I'm far away, my thoughts still stray to a place I once called home. It's the quietest place on earth today. It's the village of Rennebrone.
No hen nor cow, no horse or plough are needed anymore. No clock will ring, for time stands still in the village of Rennebrone. When going to school, we'd cross out above in case we would be late. But on a windy day, we'd go round by an east gate. Some now have gone to other lands, some to their eternal home. But the moon still shines her lonely light on the village of Rennebrone.